Another big win for my chiropractic personal injury marketing and documentation clients. This came to one of my clients who learned the personal injury marketing and documentation, and she's immediately started getting referrals, personal injury referrals from the presentation. And this is a note that one of the law firms she worked with, they're actually even hiring her to do audits for all their cases, because they found out she knows what she's talking about. And that's what happens when you learn personal injury documentation. And then, just as importantly, is know how to present it. That's called the personal injury attorney educational sales presentation. And again, usually, usually in 90 days, we can increase our doctor's income over $100,000 a year. And this is what you get. This is what happens when you know the content and you know how to give the presentation. You get the referrals, which is really good. And they've actually hired her to, they want her to be the expert witness. And they hired her to do audits for all of their cases to make sure they're being done right, the documentation is being done right, etc. So you can see here what happened is she saved this this particular case. I remember talking with her about this case, that there was a lot of documentation missing. As a matter of fact, well, I won't go into the details of it, but anyway, there was a lot of documentation missing. On average, when we do these audits for the attorneys, there's about 50 to 70% of the documentation that was not even being done by the doctors and the chiropractors, not even being done. So we went in, that's what she did. She went and did the presentation. They referred her over. It was the same thing with this particular patient. They had over 50% of the documentation that was not even being done. She cleaned it up, did the documentation, put the case together, brought it back in a narrative report. And this is, by the way, this is without even going to court. So she significantly increased the income of the case just by the documentation without going to court. So you can see here what it says. Thank you for going above and beyond for our clients. Because of you, we are able to settle the claim for a lot of money. We can't wait to work with you again in the future. Karen and the team at Greenery and Centers Law Firm, PLLC. Are you getting that kind of response from your attorneys? This is what creates attorney referrals. It's knowing your documentation, knowing how to put it together, knowing how to tell the story and support it. And stop the attorneys from losing a tremendous amount of money. This attorney found out she was going to lose a lot of money just because the documentation wasn't done. And so that's what happened. My client learned how to do it all. Now she gets regular referrals and she's asked to be an expert witness. And by the way, this chiropractor client never knew anything about personal injury prior to joining. Never knew anything about it. She joined because she liked the challenge of personal injury, number one, but also she joined it as a, obviously it's much more lucrative. It's the single most lucrative category of marketing in the chiropractic profession. And the single greatest skill set you can have from a marketing perspective is knowing how to create attorney referrals for personal injury cases. That's when you increase your business $500,000, $1 million, $2 million. I got one client, we took him up to $4 million in 2 offices. Another client, we took to 4 offices. This is exactly what happens when you know personal injury. Document, and it's a twofold approach. You cannot just know the documentation, because if you don't, you won't get the attorney referrals, because they're not looking for chiropractors. And if you know the presentation and the marketing, then they find out you don't know what you're doing because you don't know the documentation. So you do have to know both. You have to know the personal injury documentation and the personal injury attorney educational cell. And that's exactly what we teach. That's exactly what we did with this chiropractor client of mine. And boom, there you go. She's already wrapping up multiple referrals every month just from the personal injury, knowing and being trained in personal injury documentation, and knowing what to say to attorneys. This is how you create a tremendous business, increase your business $250,000, $500,000, $1 million or more. Depends again on pretty much on how much you want to grow it because there's a tremendous opportunity out there. If I can help you, give me a call. This is Dr. Paul, the chiropractic carinjurymarketing.com. This is exactly what we taught. We took her from knowing not anything about personal injury to now she's regarded as an expert with the law firms when she's done talking to them and gets all their referrals.